A young black girl with beads in her braids was about to shatter every rule tennis had ever known. This is the story of the underdog rebel. This is how Serena Williams changed everything. The story of Serena Williams doesn't begin in Wimbledon or at the US Open. It begins on a beat-up court in Compton, California, where sirens were more common than scoreboards. And yet, dreams grew stronger than fear. Born in 1981, the youngest of 5 sisters, Serena was coached by her father, Richard Williams, a man with no formal training in tennis, but an unshakable belief that his daughters could be champions. Not just good, not just great. The best, he wrote a 78-page plan for their careers before they could even hold a racket properly. While other kids spent their afternoons watching cartoons, Serena and her sister Venus practiced for hours in the blazing sun, dodging gunshots in the distance, and learning discipline from the man who believed in them more than anyone else. People laughed at Richard's vision. They called him delusional. They told him tennis wasn't for them, but Serena, even as a child, had something different in her eyes, a fire, a refusal, not just to lose, but to be labeled. As she practiced backhands under streetlights and ran drills with her beaded braids swinging, she was already shaping the foundation of her legacy. And while her peers had access to elite coaches, country club memberships, and sponsorships by the age of 10, Serena had something they didn't: grit, faith, and a father who told her every single day, "You are not like them. You are better." At just 14, Serena turned pro, a child still, but one already carrying the weight of generations, the hopes of a father's vision, and the fire of a revolution just waiting to be lit. When Serena Williams stepped onto the global stage, she wasn't just playing against her opponents, she was playing against history. The tennis world had its unspoken rules. Players were supposed to look a certain way, talk a certain way, be a certain way, and Serena didn't fit in. She was powerful, explosive, loud. Her game was raw, aggressive. Her presence, undeniable. The press didn't know what to do with her. Some called her too angry, others too strong. Commentators often said she looked more like a bodybuilder than a tennis player, and they didn't mean it as a compliment, but she didn't flinch. At just 17 years old, Serena won her first Grand Slam, the 1999 US Open, beating world champions with a fearlessness that stunned audiences. She was the second black woman ever to win a Grand Slam after Althea Gibson in 1958. Over 40 years later, Serena had brought that dream back and made it louder than ever, but the win didn't silence the critics. If anything, it made them louder. They scrutinized her fashion, her hair, her celebration dances. They mocked her beads. They dissected her body. But every time they tried to box her in, Serena did something radical. She won. She kept winning. She made winning look inevitable, and she did it in her own way, unapologetically. No matter how many headlines tried to dim her light, she kept showing up, not just as a tennis player, but as a cultural shift, an earthquake in a sport built on silence and tradition. By the mid-2000s, Serena Williams wasn't just a tennis star. She was a revolution in motion. Her game had evolved into something nearly untouchable, but it wasn't just her athletic dominance that stirred controversy. It was how she refused to conform. While others toned down, she turned up. Catsuits, neon colors, statement earrings. Serena didn't dress for the sport. She dressed for herself, and each time she stepped onto the court, she wasn't just playing a match. She was making a statement. You will see me. But with rebellion came resistance. French officials banned her iconic black catsuit at Roland Garros in 2018, calling it disrespectful to the game. The world debated her wardrobe more than her wins. The message was clear. Be great, but don't make us uncomfortable while doing it. Serena never answered with silence. She pushed harder, louder, stronger, even when the crowd booed. Even when umpires penalized her for expressing emotions, her male counterparts displayed freely. The 2018 US Open final became a global flashpoint, not just for sportsmanship, but for sexism in real time. She was fined, criticized, mocked, but to millions of women watching, she became a mirror. This wasn't just about tennis anymore. It was about every woman who'd ever been told she was too emotional, every black woman who had to tone herself down to be accepted, every moment when passion was mistaken for rage. Serena stood in the fire, not because she wanted to, but because the fire always finds people like her, unapologetic, unbothered, unbreakable. And while her opponents changed, Serena stayed Serena. No coach told her to smile more. No headline changed her voice. And even in moments of vulnerability, when injuries stacked, when losses hurt, she didn't retreat. She stood tall in her resistance, and in doing so, she inspired millions to stop apologizing for who they are. Serena didn't just win trophies, she opened doors. For black girls with a racket in hand, for women balancing ambition with motherhood, for athletes building empires instead of chasing endorsements, for anyone who's ever been told they were too loud, too strong, too much. And maybe, just maybe, her greatest win wasn't a match. It was becoming impossible to ignore. If this story moved you, if it made you feel seen or stronger, make sure to like, comment your favorite Serena moment, and subscribe for more fearless stories.